So just by way of introduction, my name is Risa Schessel. I am a founding member, joined the first year that Impact was launched in New York City, which Mindy is going to tell you about. I'm also on the board and I head up membership. Matilda, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure.
And then you can kick it off, Mindy.
Good morning, everyone. So Matilda Sampson. I'm also a founding member, also on the board, and I'm chair of the Nonprofit Relations Committee, which is the committee that works with our grantees after the awarding of the grant. And now Mindy.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. So my name is Mindy Wigatow. Right before the pandemic, I guess, we had heard, my friend Emily and Jennifer and I had heard about this amazing organization that does work in Westchester, helping local nonprofits and being a virtual professional volunteer, as I like to call myself, and always wanting to give to certain things here and there, I was immediately drawn to the idea of being able to make a greater impact with the money and the time that I was given. So that is really the vision of what Impact 100 is. It was started or invented by a woman named Wendy Steele in the Midwest. She had discovered that most of the money that was raised by women was going towards women's causes, but women were not the people who were making the decisions about where the money was going. So she came up with this innovative idea to have women get together and decide on where transformational grants can be awarded. Like I said, it existed in other places. It did not exist in New York City. So the three of us set out to get it started in New York City. So this is a little bit about how it worked. Well, yeah, go back. I'll tell you a little bit about what you're going to hear about. We will tell you just a little bit about some of the projects that we have awarded, some of the partnerships that we have, how the process works, what to expect, and then Risa and Matilda will let you know how easy it is to get involved if you so wish. Not everybody needs to be involved. As much as they would, as much as you want is how involved that you can get. A little bit about our grants process and a little bit about what's coming up. So now you could go to the next slide.
Yes, and forgive me because I also just want to introduce, and I apologize, my co-chair, Brenda Smith, sorry, who just turned her screen off, who's joining us today. She's going to be doing the next couple one of these, so she wanted to be part of this today.
So basically, this is how Impact works. You have women who give their money together and collectively award grants. It's innovative in that it democratizes philanthropy. For some women, this is the biggest check they will ever write. And for some women, it's, a Starbucks coffee. So we really take the idea that one woman, one vote to the extreme, and each person gets to put in their donation. Local nonprofits simultaneously apply for the grant. We had a nonprofit session yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matilda. I think there were 500 nonprofits signed up for that, for information.
Not quite, 370. So, but that's pretty cool.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And so local nonprofits, the word is out. We're in year 5, so they are looking to apply for grants. We separate into committees and members evaluate proposals. It's not something that you need to know how to do. Some of our women come to us with extensive nonprofit knowledge, and some come to us having never reviewed a grant or even seen what a nonprofit profile looks like. Either way, we'll train you, not a problem. At the end of that process, there will be several finalists that have been pushed forward by those committees, and those finalists will present the project. If you are a member, you get a vote regardless of what else you've done for the year, and all of the women vote, and we will award transformational grants. It's innovative in that you take your own personal financing, group together with other people. It's actually trending. There are more people who participated in collective giving this year than ever before. So we're pretty excited about that. And it's something that does not exist in New York City. So that's why we think we're super innovative here. 100% of the member donations go to, go towards the grant. So that's also an exciting piece. You could go to the next slide. Since we started, we've funded some amazing projects. In our first year, we helped Fiverr Children's Foundation build a cabin for their oldest students to get them either college or career ready when they were in 12th grade. That was very exciting. We went to a ribbon cutting upstate to see that through. We've funded, we just were notified that Sure We Can, who was one of our grantees, is going to start building a second recycling plant for it's the only nonprofit recycling. That's not recycling. They
Canning. It's called
canning. So they have community members who bring cans to their site, and they treat them with respect, giving them the full amount that they are entitled to from the state. They also provide somewhat a community hub for them. And it's really unbelievable to meet some of the canners who have made a living doing this for their jobs. And they are now opening another site in Brooklyn, and we were instrumental in getting that funded. This past year, we gave away 3 grants. One of them was to an organization that partners with moms who they meet them when they are in their 9th month of pregnancy, and they bring them through to their 2nd year of life, helping them and giving them a network to make sure that the moms and the babies thrive, as we all hope our own moms and babies are thriving. So we have a Next Gen program, which is for teenagers, and they have also given away 3 grants in the past 3 years. So collectively, we have given away over $1 million. And like I said, this idea was spawned during the pandemic. So we're quite proud of that fact. And this is just us at the Big Give last year with or this is 2 years ago, with our grantees. And yeah, so I will turn it back to Risa.
Actually, Matilda.
Yes,
Matilda.
actually, it's me. Thank you, Mindy. You've actually talked about some of these projects that we have here listed with their logos. So obviously she talked about Fiverr. So let me talk about a little bit of some other ones that we've worked with and are still working with. For example, Harlem Grown, they own or they lease land from the city for multiple gardening community gardens outside of schools or across in Harlem to help expose kids to what does a carrot look like when it comes out of the ground, which a lot of the kids don't know necessarily unless they're involved in this project. And we helped fund an after-school program for the first time, a free after-school program, which started with 70 kids, but is actually growing basically to double this year in their 2nd year. So it's a very exciting launch. Futures in Option is an organization that helps kids in high school explore career opportunities. They started in the financial industry, really, but our project funded them to explore careers in healthcare. As we know, there are not enough people and plenty of opportunities for people in jobs, not necessarily doctors, but exploring other opportunities like a radiologist or, just a lot of options there. And they launched a program which with our fund, which has now actually been accepted by the Department of Education to be expanded into 17 high schools. So it's just an amazing launching pad that we help fund. So these are all great organizations that we've had that continue to build an amazing relationship with and in a variety of ways, which we'll talk about volunteering a little bit. If we go to the next slide. So this is a picture of our impact of impact, which is different opportunities we've had of actually volunteering. Yes, coming in person. So the picture in the middle is actually us working with Sure We Can. So the canners, the executive directors at the bottom, And a board member in the middle is a woman who has made her living collecting cans and actually becomes a community leader and will be the site leader for our new site. So it's kind of exciting where we actually get to see how they work and what they do. And we do that at the gardens. We do that at any of our grantees. You can go to the next one, that's fine. So was that me still, Risa? Yes. I think what you can expect when you get involved with Impact 100 is you basically help contribute to the grant that drives change. Oops, things are moving. You expand your leadership and philanthropic skills. You expand your network so that you obviously, as Natasha said, you can meet like-minded, passionate women who are engaged and involved. You learn a lot about these nonprofits, which to me, that's one of the greatest thing about this engagement is that you learn about so many people who do so much good work in the city that actually you'd think government is involved in that, but no, this is truly at the local community level where you see the impact they have and how we can help them as well. You get to collaborate and obviously engage further with the city and its people all around. So this is definitely a lot of benefits that you gain by being a member of Impact 100. And depending on your level of engagement, you can grow that in many different ways.
So I am going to, can everyone hear me? I'm unmuted.
Yep.
I am going to just talk a little bit about how we work and ways to get involved. So one thing that we find can be a little bit confusing at first, so hopefully this chart will simplify it for you, is what the annual cycle looks like. So when members make their donation and they join, it's a year-long membership. So what happens starting in September essentially is the beginning of when things really start happening for the grant year. So in September, as Matilda and Wendy talked about, we start our outreach. So we start our outreach to nonprofits in the community, looking for nonprofits and getting the word out for nonprofits that want to apply. At the same time, we start growing our membership. So this is the time of year where we start having different events and opportunities for women who want to learn about or members to invite guests to learn about Impact 100, about the work we do. And you'll see in a minute, we have a lot of exciting things going on this fall. And then members who have been members for 1, 2, 3, 4 years also commit for a following year. So right now we are raising with the donations that come in is money for 2025 grant. So this is where it can be a little bit confusing. So we're in 2024, but the money from all the donations we're all making are going to go towards a grant we'll give away in 2025. In November, the invitation is about to come out. We have our big event of the fall, which is called the Big Learn. This is an opportunity to get together, to meet a lot of members. Guests are welcome if you have friends you think might be interested. And this is where this past year and sometimes the year before, grant recipients will present. So it's an amazing opportunity to really hear firsthand some of the incredible work that we're doing, as Matilda spoke about. And this year we're doing it as a breakfast in a beautiful location. So invitations are coming soon, but this is really a highlight of the fall, as an opportunity to be here one-on-one and meet in person our grant recipients. And then the end of December 31st, is when membership closes for the 2025 grant cycle. So during this period of time, while we're having all these events and members are recommitting, new members are joining, opportunities to learn about our grant recipients, there also are, there's a grant committee that has different subcommittees that are doing all the evaluation. So what Matilda spoke about, and if it's something you're interested in getting more deeply involved in, we have people who, review the proposals from a financial point of view, but we have a lot of people who are working behind the scenes to evaluate every proposal to then figure out which ones will move forward and be considered by all the members. So December 31st is when membership closes, payment is due. I don't know the exact timing, the application period will have already ended a little bit earlier. And so when we move into the new year in January, we know how many members that we have. And not sure if Mindy mentioned this, but in the first year when Mindy and a few other remarkable women decided to launch this, and then March 2020 is when they launched, and we all know what happened then. And despite that, in the first year, they brought in 147 women who joined. So $147,000 was given away. So this past year, our fourth grant cycle, we had 346 members. So you can see very rapidly as people are hearing about this, the mission is resonating. So in January, we'll know how many members we have. And then we have an exciting event in February called the Big Reveal. And that is when we announce how many members we have and how much money we have to donate. And at the same time, for members who want to, and I strongly encourage it, I was very intimidated to do this, and now I've done it every year. Members can sign up if they want to be part of the grant review process. So will be 6 different committees, and you'll sign up at a time that's of interest that works for your schedule. Some are in person and some are virtual, but that is the time where if you want to get involved in reviewing the grants, there's training, and then the grant review committees will be meeting February, March, April to get down to the finalists. During that period of time, there will also be, and throughout the year, opportunities to volunteer. So Matilda heads that up. You can actually sign up specifically if you want to be on they call the volunteer corps, to always get notices every month in our newsletter. You'll also specifically hear about volunteer opportunities. So there are opportunities all throughout the year to interact and engage and be involved. And then irrespective of your level of involvement, as Mindy said, in May, we have our biggest event of the year, which is just, an incredibly exciting event. And that is where we have the vote. Every member gets a vote, and we announce the finalists. And so all the finalists are there. We announce the winners. We give the checks. It's an unbelievable celebration. It's very hard not to cry when you hear from these people. We always have someone from a past grant recipient speak. And so that happens in May, and then we start moving into our next year. So we have a few things that happen over the summer, but a lot of people are, busy and not around over the summer. So that's why we show this like September to May timeline. But over the summer, we tend to have a few things going on and members get together. So hopefully that helps you understand the membership cycle, and it's an annual membership. And, I think we've touched on a lot of this, but essentially, to the point that we've all made, everyone is different. Everybody, there are members who just feel so good that they're writing $1,000 and feel so confident that that there are stewards of their money who take this responsibility very seriously, and that the decisions of where these $100,000 grants go are really very well considered and really meet very specific criteria. It's not for operating funds. This money goes to transformative work, new projects or expansions of existing projects. So every member and every membership is individualized for how much involvement a member would like to have. And we have a lot of different committees. So in addition to, which Matilda will speak about in a second, getting involved on a grant review committee, which happens after the new year, there are a lot of ways to get involved. And you will have, as a new member, or already have been given an ambassador who is happy to discuss this with you. You can reach out to any of us. But the different committees that we have a membership committee, which Brenda and I head up. We look for ways to expand our membership and make sure that members are feeling connected to the organization. We have an events committee, and the big events that I talked about, the big learn, which is coming soon, the big give, the big reveal, they plan those. We have marketing and communications. As a member, you start seeing all the incredible information that'll be sent out. There's a monthly newsletter, so we're always looking. I mean, every single committee here is looking for volunteers. Social media, we have a couple of people working on. We are absolutely looking for other people to get involved. So if you or someone is social media savvy, and please, if you haven't, make sure you put us on LinkedIn. We can show you how. If you're on Instagram, on Facebook, follow us in all those places. Matilda will talk about being involved in the grant review. Matilda heads up nonprofit relations. So there are lots of opportunities to volunteer. And then within her committee, there are people who are more deeply involved that have relationships with each, and help manage the relationships with each grant recipients. Technology, a lot of these things that happen behind the scenes are important, and we've evolved so that now each committee is having technology people. So you can be, on the membership committee, but helping with a lot of the back end if you're technologically oriented. Finance, very important, though all the money that that we donate goes 100% towards the grant recipients. We also have an option for what we call 110% member. So that extra $100, it's 1,100, goes towards administrative costs. And then we have different people who make donations because we are all volunteer run, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes in terms of collecting the donations, taxes, et cetera. And then sponsorship. We have some generous members who make additional donations, and that other supports our infrastructure. There are opportunities to support founder fellows, which are younger women who want to join and don't have the funds, but commit to get very involved. So there's a lot of opportunities for those that desire to give in other ways. Matilda.
Actually, before we jump into that slide, the volunteering, we are running a session on October 1st, which I will send you the invite, to talk about volunteering opportunities and what are the specific needs by the committees. Because, again, we're 100% volunteer. So, and as we continue to grow, we need more people engaged and involved. So if you have the time or the energy, sign up for the October 1st call. It will be recorded as well, but so that you have an opportunity to learn more. What specifically could I do in the nonprofit relations team or the grants team, all those things. But in terms of the grants process, for an in-depth, how does it work? Meaning the awarding of the grant, the selecting of the grantees, sign up for a review committee when it becomes available, which we call GRC, Grant Review Committee, or Financial Review Committee, and FRC. Again, the sign up will happen in February. And by being involved in either of those, you really learn the details of the grant process. What are the questions we ask? What the application looks like? What are the actual core mission of Impact 100, but also of amazing nonprofits? And you get to be working in subgroups, meaning there's going to be 6 GRCs this year, most likely. And you get to review about 10 applications and discuss it with other members, and really get to, some of the meetings are in person, some of them are really virtual. And do not need any experience. We will train you on how to review an application and how to, you get to see site visits, which are virtual. So you really get to learn about these nonprofits. And in some ways, even if they don't get a grant from Impact 100, some of our members have actually gotten involved with some where the mission really spoke to them. And so it spreads in effect, and you really feel more engaged in understanding how the grant process works at a nonprofit. So again, a virtual session will happen mid-January with some training in February. Go to the next slide. Mindy mentioned a little bit about the next gen. So this is, again, if you have any teens in your life that are students between the grades of 8 and 12, 8th grade to 12th grade, they do the same thing, but on a smaller scale, in the sense of they each contribute $100. So they raise or donate that money. They learn about nonprofits. They do community service. Here they're packing some lunches for an organization that hands out to unhoused people in New York City. And they get to manage a grant cycle as well. So they also get to be mini philanthropists in learning about application and how to evaluate them. So again, if you know anyone in this age grade, these grades, please, our website has more information, and we can connect you to someone for them to sign up.
So our last slide, and then we can just get into some Q&A and answer all your questions. Not there yet. We have a lot of exciting things happening this fall. There are newsletters and invitations coming out, but you can also, if you just look on our website, we can also put the link in during the chat, our calendar. We have, opportunities. I know several of you said, meeting other members and networking is important. All of these are great opportunities. But we've got, coffees and cocktail parties, which, because we're in our recruiting season, are really great opportunities for members to bring interested guests to come. And it's also just a great place to network with other members. We have opportunities to hear from our grant recipients, as we said, the Big Learn. We have a really exciting event happening on October 10th. We have Mickey Health is sponsoring an event with a really exciting health panel on women's issues. But what's really extraordinary is the Global Founder of Impact 100, 24 years ago, is going to be speaking Wendy Steele. So if you are available to join that evening, it should be a really exciting night. The big learn, I'm a little all over the place, but as we talked about as well, the breakfast on November 13th, that invite is coming out, but you can register now. An amazing opportunity to hear from our different grant recipients. And then more things will likely pop up, but we're really in the middle of just an exciting time of recruiting and learning and connecting with other members. And we're very excited. We're excited, those of you who just joined, and I know we have one person down here who has not. So happy to speak to you about, joining. And as I said before, membership is $1,000. It's a donation. It goes 100% towards the grants. And then we have different levels of membership if you want to connect with operating funds, and happy to send you the link to join if you're interested or answer your questions. But I think now we can stop recording.